Hi, friends. I am so excited that you have chosen to join me today on my first webinar. It is so exciting. I'm just here to let you know that we're just going to spend a few minutes together so that we could just relate. I don't know about you, but we live in a society where there's a lot of lies and there's a lot of things that are going on. But this is going to be a time to where we're able to just have a good time together and talk about things and just relate and be honest and open. But first, let me just share a little bit with you. I just wanted to get on here and start these webinars because I truly believe that we are better together. And so for those of you who don't know me, I am an author. This is my second book. It is Lies, Liar, and the Lioness. And I, for so many years, believed lies that were one. I believed them because they were spoken over me, but I believed them because I felt like that was my worth or that's what I valued. And so I wrote this beautiful book. It's not necessary for you to have this book to go through these webinars, but it's helpful. But what you do need is a journal because I'm going to give you some applications and some helpful hints during these live webinars to where we're able to just kind of walk through life together. But you know what? If anybody knows anything about me, they know that I love to laugh. So I'm going to tell you this really cool joke. This is funny. I thought it was funny. So this elderly man, around his 80s, was walking down the street, and all of a sudden he hears this frog, and he's talking, and it says, "Pick me up, kiss me, and I'll turn into a beautiful bride." So the elderly man bent down graciously, picked him up, put him in his pocket. And the frog said, "What are you doing putting me in your pocket?" I said, "Kiss me, and I will turn into a beautiful bride." And the elderly man said, "At my age, I would rather have a talking frog." I know. What is so funny about that is that there are voices in our head that we listen to all the time. And sometimes we listen to the lies that have been spoken over us. So I just want to dialogue with you. And at the end of the sessions, you can email me questions or you can ask me while we're here live and I will answer them. But I am a certified life coach. I am an author. I am a public speaker, and I do love people. My passion is people. That is my passion. But in these webinars, I just want to inspire you. But if I want to aspire, my whole concept is to aim towards a goal. Aim is to aspire. So write this down. This is aspire. I want to aspire you to cultivate some creativity in yourself. Find your value, find your worth so that you can allow your thumbprint, because we all have a thumbprint. We all have a legacy that we're leaving. We all have something that we can contribute. And none of us have the same thumbprint. You're the only one who can leave your mark on society. But you got to find it. You have to cultivate it. You have to discover it. So these webinars are to help you discover your gifts and talents and to not believe the lies about yourself anymore, to aspire, to inspire you to be greater than you already are. For those of you who don't really know yourself that well, I will be happy to coach you on the side to just find your gifts and your talents. But I want to inspire you to be the best version of you. Inspire you. And then the M is to motivate. So we have A is to aspire, I is to inspire, and M is to motivate. I just want to be that one that gives you the push to kind of leap out there, do something different. I've never done webinars before. This is different. I love a live audience. I feel the vibes and the energy from live audiences. And so this is a little different, but I just want you to be motivated into doing something different. You've always heard that, perhaps you haven't, but there is a statement that said, if you want the same results, keep doing the same thing. I want to motivate you to do something different. I want to motivate you to just step outside of yourself and do something that scares you. Do something that makes you feel better about yourself. Perhaps it's, I don't know, something that you want to write a book. This is my second book. My first book was written about 4, 5, 6 years ago. It is the curriculum at Lee University in the child psychology class, child development, adolescent psych, with my mentor, Lena Barber. She is fascinating and amazing. And so I get to go speak to them and inspire, and motivate them to be the best people. But we are going to just jump right in here real quickly. And I just want you to just take some notes if you'll follow along. So I just want to let you know that in life, we are so surrounded by all kinds of negativity. I don't have to tell you that. I mean, turn the news on. I don't have to tell you that. It's everywhere. There are voices that have been spoken over us, or there are situations that are misfortunes. There's things that have caused us to hear this inner dialogue. Do you know what I'm saying? Do you have an inner dialogue? Do you have an inner voice that's perhaps negative, saying that you're not valuable, or you're not worth it, or that you're not good enough, or sweet enough, or kind enough, that you're not enough? What is the inner dialogue that you're listening to in your own head? What is it? Perhaps it's a voice from someone who spoke something over you. Perhaps it's a father or a mother or a pastor. Could be a best friend. It could be an athletic coach that said you're too small, that you will never be great, that you're not going to ever measure up to the field that you're going into. You're too short to play basketball, or you're too small to be a running back. Whatever it is, there is an inner dialogue that is in our head that we pattern our life after, that we try to emulate. And sometimes those things, they're very negative. And so we have to just reprogram our brains and reprogram our minds to listen to the good that's in us. Perhaps you don't know how. So for so very long, and I wrote about it in the book, I didn't think I was enough. I thought that I needed to measure up, or that the God of the universe, the one who I serve, I couldn't even be good enough for him. My choices led me down a path that caused me to live in shame and guilt and condemnation. And in that, I lived that out loud. And so I started, the law of attraction is that need attracts need. And I was very needy, and I needed affirmation, and I needed the voice of validity to tell me that I was good, or that I was thin, or that I was sweet, or that I was kind. And when I didn't get that, I would go find it through other things. Let me encourage you to take a few minutes out of your busy day to listen to that inner dialogue. What is it saying to you? What is your inner dialogue saying? Let me help you with a few that I wrote down. The little girl in my book, in the first chapter, when I was writing, and I went to go and speak, and she came up and she said, my daddy told me that I was ugly. 3 words: you are ugly. Those 3 words, they continually, perpetually, constantly, like a cycle, resonated in her head. That's the only thing when she looked in the mirror that she could hear is, you are ugly. It came from someone who was supposed to protect her, from someone who was to shield her and to guard her. It was actually from her dad. A little girl needs the validation from their father, not the voice of you are ugly. He could have said 3 important words. You are loved. You are loved. You may not feel loved. I know what it's like to not feel loved, but you are loved. Let me help you with a few declarations every day. If you have this negative voice in your head that says that you aren't enough, let me just take a minute with you and write these down. Go ahead, get your pen. Let's write this down. Let me start off by saying, you are loved. You are loved. Can you find one good thing about you? One good thing, character wise. It doesn't have to be an outer appearance. Are you kind? Are you sweet? Are you compassionate? Are you empathetic? Are you patient? There's something good that is inside of us all. It's to develop that and to create the greatness that is within us already. You are lovable. So you are lovable. Yes, you are lovable. You are beautiful. You're beautiful. What is most important in life is the beauty from within that shows without, not the exterior. But beauty comes from within. So go deep within your soul and begin to think about the things that you cherish about yourself that make you beautiful. Perhaps you don't know how, or you can't find them, or it's really hard for you because you were never told you were beautiful. Can I tell you today, you are beautiful. You are unique. There is no one like you. You were created for a purpose. There is absolutely no one like you. There's people all around you that need you to survive. They just need you to flourish. They need you to just believe in yourself. You are unique. You are created for a purpose. Do you know your purpose? Do you know what you're created for? I know that for my purpose, I love people. And my name actually means helper of mankind. It's just not by chance that I'm a life coach. It's not by chance that my inspiration and aspiration and my motivation and everything that I do is to leave the people that I'm with better off than when I left them, when I was with them. I want them better. I want them to feel good about themselves. I don't want to be the one that comes into the room with negativity and brings people down. I want to bring them higher. I want them to see the best in themselves. You are created with a purpose. So let's go on. Let me just help you that if by chance you're listening to that inner dialogue and that you don't know how to get out of it, let me give you 3 helpful hints. This will help you throughout this journey. We're going to be journeying together for 12 months. Every Wednesday of the first of the month, I'm having a webinar to just encourage you. So let me just encourage you this week. Three simple principles. The first one starts with identify. Identify the voice in your head. Identify that inner dialogue that you're telling yourself. Perhaps like the little girl, it was her daddy. Maybe it was your mom. Whatever it is, identify it. But you can't just leave it there if you identify it. Can I ask you to take one step further and to forgive the person who violated you, to forgive the person who hurt you, to give the person that you've given your power to for so long? Can you take a moment and just write out a letter of forgiveness? For me, that letter of forgiveness had to come personally to me. Dear Sandy, I forgive you for making some really bad choices. If you don't know all my bad choices, I was just really honored if you would get the book so you could read the beautiful process of what's called Amazing Grace. But this is just a way of release, which is our next word. So you identify that voice. Forgive the inner dialogue of the person who has offended you. If you release your power over to them, then you're giving them the power to possess and to oppress you, or you're giving them the power to take ownership. It's your day to take ownership of your own thoughts. Release those thoughts that are so captive, that have taken you hostage for so long. One key is to identify and forgive. Just a small little exercise, just forgive. Might start with you, just like me. I had to forgive me. And then release it. So, how do I release it? It's so simple. Once you have forgiven that person, you release those thoughts or those shames. You just merely allow that sense of forgiveness to carry over into every aspect. Release it. What do I mean by releasing it? Submit it every day. Whenever that thought comes into your mind that's trying to take you captive again, identify that voice, release it, and replace it with what you know is true. I am no longer a slave to myself. I am no longer a sinful girl who chooses to make bad choices. I choose to make good choices. I choose to walk in forgiveness. I choose to walk in my purpose and my passion. I choose. So, as we journey together, your first is identify your inner dialogue. Write out this beautiful letter. Dear, maybe it's your name there. I forgive you. Release it. It's like a purge. It's like just getting all of that junk out. And maybe you need to write multiple letters. Maybe don't send them in your journal. Just write out, I forgive you. Maybe you were violated. Perhaps you were sexually assaulted. Perhaps you were beaten. Perhaps you were left at the altar. Perhaps, I don't know what your perhaps is. But whatever is taking your thoughts captive to keep you bound has your power. It's time for you to get your power back. You choose. Identifying your letters of forgiveness, releasing it is like a key that opens up the door for you to be free. So identify, release, and let it go. I know letting it go sounds just like the Frozen. And you're going to have that song in your head for the next few days. But let me tell you, it is so simple. It's so simple. We make it so complex because we want to hold to the familiar. But when you literally identify that voice, maybe it's an ex-husband, maybe, I don't know what your maybe is, let it go. Let it go. Today is your day to be free. You are no longer held captive to the voices of the inner dialogue in your head. If you choose to be free, it's just a surrender. It's an act of a surrender. I choose today to be free. See, I had to choose to say, ask Jesus Christ to save me from myself because I was on a path of self-destruction. There wasn't anything good that I was doing. I want to encourage you today that today you can be free. All you have to do is just surrender and submit and say, you know what? I've been doing it my way for so long, and now I'm ready to do it Jesus's way. Maybe you don't know Jesus as your Savior. He's my best friend. I would love to introduce you to him. He's right waiting for you to just surrender. Surrender your private pain. Surrender your guilt. Surrender your shame. Surrender the things that have kept you captive for so long. He bore it at Calvary over 2,000 years ago so that you could be free. Could I just give you some words of encouragement today? This is your day to be free. You too can be free like me. I am no longer a slave to myself. I no longer am a slave to sin and what I used to be. I am free. You too can be free. I just want to say thank you. so much for just taking time out of your day to just be with me. 20 minutes, 25 minutes, just few helpful hints once a month to help you be the best version of you that you can be. I believe in you. I know you can do this. Our next date is March the 4th. We're going to be talking about guilt. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with guilt. I had to deal with guilt. I wore the garment of guilt every day because of choices that I made. You don't have to have the garment of guilt. You can exchange that garment. Take that garment back. It's your choice. I hope to see you next March 4th. Webinar Wednesdays. Let's do life together because we are better together. If you would love for me to coach you, I would be honored. All you have to do is stay on the website that you went to, sandykramer.tv, and just email me. Perhaps you want to send me a video and let me know why you are looking for a life coach. Perhaps it's for business. I was in business for 26 and a half years, and I know what it's like to be self-employed. Perhaps it's something that you're working in relationships. I am a certified mediator with families and divorce and situations of that nature. I'll be more than happy to help you. Most importantly, I want to help you be the best version of you. Be the best version of you. I look forward to seeing you March 4th, 12 noon. Stay positive. Stay at peace.